Pushing at what seems to be a feverish pace, the House and Senate have actually pushed through their versions of the brand new EV tax credit, saving up to $10,000 for a brand new Tesla. Something that we've been talking about for what seems like years, as early as this week seems like it might actually happen. Being able to access your dash cam through the app, a new feature that wasn't available before but people have been asking about for years. Finalized updates on the 4680 battery cells that might actually come out in 2022, which is only months away. The actual launch of shared Tesla Superchargers with non-Tesla EVs in the Netherlands alone, but probably globally soon. And then even new colors on the refreshed Model 3, Model Y. All this and more coming up next. You guys are watching The Tall Tesla Guy. So starting right off with the EV credit, we've been talking about this ad nauseum. In fact, I've got tons of videos talking about it, and I'm not the only one. It seems like all over, everybody was wondering about this EV tax credit. Tesla had the EV credit up until 2019, and then they exhausted the number of vehicles that were available to actually access and gain the credit. Well, with the refresh plan, the administration has actually pushed through an EV tax credit. Companies producing an EV get up to $7,500 on a new EV purchase. Now, if you also are producing your vehicle with predominantly American-made parts, then you get another $2,500, which actually pushes Tesla to $10,000. If you have a unionized factory, you can get another $2,500. Now, Tesla doesn't have unionized factories. However, $10,000 off the cost of a new Model 3, Model Y, which seems like those are the only two that actually qualify for it, is a huge break. The Tesla Model Y is $57,000, and it's probably going to go up even higher than that by the time this EV tax credit officially rolls out. $59,000 minus $10,000 credit is going to give you the cost out the door of the car at $49,000. Now, there's a little caveat to that. A lot of people were confused about what this tax credit actually does. In the past, the tax credit actually gave you money back in your pocket. However, this is actually a credit off of your taxes. So essentially, if you owed $2,500 in taxes and you get a $10,000 EV credit because you bought a brand new Tesla, you're actually going to get $7,500 back. Now, before you would get that credit, the $2,500 would offset the tax that you owe. However, you wouldn't actually get to take the money back. Well, now there's verbiage in there talking about how you actually get the money. So you'd basically get a check for $7,500. Now, this is in the case that you owe $2,500 in taxes alone, and you bought the Tesla brand new, what seems like after January 1st of 2022, and it fell within the gap being a Model 3 or Model Y, then you're going to get that money back. It's a huge deal, and it's a huge thing for people pushing their way into the EV market. All the other EV auto manufacturers are also going to be able to benefit from this as long as they have a certain kilowatt hour battery, they have a certain price tag that it stays under. Currently, the Model S and the Model X do not qualify, being that it's got to be under $75,000. But it's going to be something that kind of turns the consumer towards or opens your eyes towards getting a new EV or an EV in general, especially if you have the opportunity to save that amount of money. You know, like we talked about the Model Y being $59,000 potentially by the time this EV credit happens, and saving $10,000 off of that, putting it at $49,000 is a huge thing. In fact, it would end up being on par with getting a Tesla Model 3 long range. So it's something that's going to help push people or propel people into this EV market. Whether it's Tesla or not, it's going to be something that really lights people up and gets people excited about it. The EVs are coming out with longer and longer range vehicles. Tesla's not the only one that's exploring this 4680 battery. The new chemistries in the LFP batteries. Manufacturers all around the world are actually putting a laser focus on battery production as something that the future electric vehicle market is going to need and require. And it's no surprise. People want more and more and more range. If you're going to be substituting an ICE vehicle for an EV, let's be honest, you need the range. Now, I can say that you don't need it daily. There's no reason to drive 300 miles a day unless you have a 100-mile commute to work or something like that, but the majority of us don't. Call it 99% of us don't. So you don't need that range. However, if you're completely getting rid of your gas vehicle for an EV, the first thing you're going to think about is taking those long road trips. Now, this is any EV, not just Tesla's. Now, Tesla does have an advantage over other in that they had the Supercharger network. It's this extensive fast charging network that's exclusive for Teslas. It'll charge your car up 10-15 minutes, almost equivalent to the amount of time you'd spend at a gas station. A huge advantage that Tesla actually built into their business plan from the very beginning. Over the next couple years, they're going to roll out tens of thousands of more of these superchargers. However, not too far back, Tesla talked about opening up their supercharger network to other EVs. Now, currently, only the Netherlands actually have superchargers available for other EVs, other than just Tesla. In reality, it's probably because they use this CCS charging network, which actually already has this funky looking charging cable that'll actually fit in just about an EV. So it was probably the easiest rollout. In the United States, we don't have that. Same with Canada and Mexico, any other place. They have a typical Tesla charger on all the superchargers, and it only fits in a Tesla. So you have to get that adapter to do it, a Chemco adapter that you can get to fit into your Porsche Taycan, your Mustang Mach-E, whatever it is when they finally open it up. However, it seems like it's not only a dream that might be coming, that it's actually coming into reality. In my mind, it's good and bad. I don't typically fight for people at the superchargers. I don't use them often, so it may not be an issue for me. Some people that use them all the time may find longer lines at superchargers. However, what Tesla's going to be doing is really bolstering up their supercharger network, adding more and more and more stalls as they move forward. I imagine using some of the profits from the supercharger, from the open superchargers anyway, to build these more and more superchargers. So down the road, I think it'll be less and less of an issue, or it won't be as bad as it seems. And in my mind, it's opening up other EVs to jump into the same stream that Tesla has, and what's good for all is good for all. So then it leads me to the 4680 battery. We talked about that a little bit. It's not just exclusive to Tesla, because other companies are producing these as well, but the 4680 battery is revolutionary new chemistry that's going to allow Teslas, or any EV that uses this, to get up to 20% more range. Well, 20% more range is huge. Currently, the Tesla Model Y gives you about 330 EPA miles of range. Now, that's not real conditions, but we're not going to talk about driving fast, being hot or cold, or anything like that. That's just the rated range. Well, 20% more is going to give you about 70 more miles, which pushes it over 400, which is huge. That's going to be better than nearly every ICE vehicle that's out there. If you were on the verge or on the edge of deciding to go with an EV, but you're worried about the range, worried about not having gas stations or superchargers, this might push you over it. And then on top of that, you add in a $10,000 government EV credit. It becomes less of a should I get one to why wouldn't I get one? And I think that alone is going to turn a lot of people on to getting EVs or jumping into the EV market. I, for one, can say that I never had an EV prior. I started out with our Tesla Model Y, and I've loved it ever since. In fact, to the point where I don't think I'll ever buy a gas vehicle for myself, for my daily driver, for me. Now, we do have a gas vehicle, but it's my wife's car, so in my mind, I love the experience of driving my Tesla so much that it's something that I'm going to continue with. And then it leads me to the final thing that we wanted to talk about today. New colors. It doesn't seem that amazing or fun or crazy or anything like that, but up until now, you were kind of pigeonholed into only 5 color options. The standard white, which was free, used to be black was free, but white's free now. Black, midnight silver metallic, red, and blue. They've just recently offered midnight silver metallic as a free choice as well. Now, of course, that came with a $1,500 increase, which was the cost of the midnight silver metallic before. So is it really free? Not technically, but it's nice to have that other option in there. Well, now they're talking about putting in yellows. They're talking about putting their matte silver color again, which was just basically a gray, essentially. And then more and more colors as they move forward, probably browns, green, who knows. It just kind of shows, though paint color isn't necessarily exciting, it shows that Elon, Tesla, kind of has their touch with what people want, what people are looking for, what people get excited about. And that alone gets me excited about the future of Tesla as a car company, the future of Tesla as a technology company that produces cars, just because I know that maybe they're listening. Elon is constantly on Twitter saying controversial things at times, but nonetheless, he's on there responding to people, talking to people, engaging with people. And in my mind, I just feel good knowing that he's bringing some of that back to the board, some of that back to his office, and using that to change and better the way that the car is. It also adds to the infrastructure. It adds to where I think Tesla can go as a company and kind of where the future of Tesla goes. Hertz just talked about buying 100,000 Teslas. Model 3s, who knows if it actually happens? Elon said that there's no contract. You know, they started producing commercials for it. It's supposed to be for their rental fleet. Ubers, who knows? But either way, it just shows a sign of the times. And it's a sign of the times that I'm happy and excited about. I'm excited that we're moving towards that. I'm excited that the future of the EV world maybe doesn't have to only include Tesla, but there's a potential for other EVs out there that can kind of take advantage of it. And then as a non-Tesla consumer, it's an opportunity for you to drive one, to feel the excitement of it, to get the opportunity to move into it. And then with better pricing structures, with EV credits, with a $25,000 Tesla, it's an opportunity to take advantage of it and jump in there. So let me know what you think. Would a color choice change your mind? This EV credit, $10,000 off is a pretty big deal, or at least $10,000 credit on your taxes is a pretty big deal, especially if you can get cash back on it. But who knows? Maybe that's not the linchpin for you. Let me know in the comments below. Either way, I hope you guys are having a safe week. You're having a wonderful month, wonderful year getting into the holiday season, and I hope you guys are staying safe out there. Thanks for watching, everybody.